Hello guys, welcome back. In today's video, we'll be reading off two stories from the Entitled Parents subreddit. Alright, let's hop straight into the video. Entitled mom wants me to let her kid use my Switch, tries to get me arrested when I tell her it's not a Switch. So I'm still stuck on a flight, but I thought I'd take a break from gaming to calm down and post this. So I had been in New York for the last week for work, and I'm flying back to the West Coast. For my in-flight entertainment, I decided to bring my Steam Deck with me. Now I'm going to get into how great it is because I don't want this to sound like an ad. And Valve isn't paying me for it. Valve isn't paying me for this. I say that it fits right in my backpack in the case it comes in and works fantastically. Well, it probably won't even bring my laptop next trip, just my deck and maybe keyboard and mouse for work stuff. So we take off, get in the air, and once the seatbelt light turns off, the commotion starts from behind me. This little kid starts going on that he's already bored, but his mom just tells him to put on his headphones and play with his tablet. At this time, I decide to do the same and grab my deck and start up Fallen Order. Things go fine. I plug in my headphones and start and get into it. Apparently, both Entitled Mom and the kid had forgotten to charge the ever important tablet last night. So despite turning up the volume, I could hear the wailing from behind me. I see out of the corner of my eye a flight attendant come up and assumingly ask them to keep it down. Surprisingly, it works for about 15 minutes. Then I get a strange feeling down my spine, as if I'm being watched. But before I could react to that, the kid starts bumping my seat, even though I'm in the aisle seat in front of his mother. After a few times, I take one earbud out and turn to ask the kid to please stop, which he surprisingly does, maybe for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes of my peace, my seat is bumped again, only this time much harder, surprisingly hard considering for the kid is probably 10. I turn around to ask the kid to stop again, only to get cut off by the Entitled Mom. The Entitled Mom said, "No, that wasn't him, that's me. My son noticed the Nintendo Switch you're using. Do you think he could share it for a bit?" She asked him, and she asked with an almost sweet tone. "Sorry, but it's not a Switch, it's a Steam Deck, and it doesn't have snap-off controllers like the Switch." The Entitled Mom said, "Don't lie to me, boy. Be nice and share." She almost snapped back at me, the sweetness gone from her voice. "Even if I wanted to, it isn't a Switch, it's a Steam Deck. And it doesn't have controllers like that." And the Entitled Mom said, "Geez, such a bad liar. Your mother must be proud. Fine, be that way." She turned and nodded at the kid. I wanted to go off for bringing my mother into this. She's a first grade teacher for like 30 years. But I turned around and went back to playing. Unfortunately, when I did, the kid started kicking my seat again. I turned back around and made a grave mistake. I called her kid anything less than annoying. No, I called her kid annoying. Mia said, "Ma'am, can you please control your child? I'm sorry his tablet seems to be dead, but he can't play with my deck." Then I made the second mistake. I tried to negotiate with her. "If he wants, he could watch me play my deck, see how it is in a Switch, and maybe you could get him one of these if he likes what he sees." Entitled Mom seemed to be ready to blow her top at refusing her kid as anything but what she did next surprised me. She started jamming the button to call an attendant, almost in a panicked state. When she got one to come over, she tells him to call up the air marshal to throw me in the back because get this, I apparently offered to show her child. Can't say that because of YouTube. And it honestly took me a few seconds to process things. I fly a lot and I've dealt with a few people before, but this was my first time and I had been accused of something I can't say because of YouTube. I said, "Whoa, calm down. I did nothing of the sort." I said deck, like Steam Deck. This, I tried to convey the attention, showing the device in my hands. The entitled mom is screeching up a storm, saying I could be thrown out the airlock and how I won't have a good time, etc. The commotion brings up two other attendants to try and calm her down and see if I can't say that because of YouTube. Alright, here's where I look out. One of the two who recently came up to try and de-escalate things, Kate, happened to game herself. And her fiance got her one last month, so she knew at best this was just a misunderstanding. When she told this to her coworkers, they seemed to calm down. But when they told the entitled mom, she must have misheard me. I swear I could start to feel the heat come off her in rage. No, he insulted my precious baby and can't say that because of YouTube. Sorry about all the things I can't say because of YouTube, but let's just continue with the story. Here's where things get funny. Across the aisle was an older gentleman, probably in his 70s, who decided to chime in. Probably because there was a few people between him and the entitled mom to block her. The old man said, "Quit your bull, lady. My hearing has been bad longer than your kid has been alive," and I heard him say deck. Probably wasn't the best decision to laugh at that, but I wasn't the only one. After a bit of back and forth amongst themselves, the attendants come back to our seats, with Kate giving me a wink as she did. They apologized for the situation and asked if a relocation would solve the problem, or else we might have to leave. Have to change some stuff, but don't worry, it's still about the same story. Alright, let's continue. I said sure, figuring that giving up an extra leg room of my seat was worth getting away from them. Gathered up my stuff and got out of my seat. The entitled mom said, "Have fun in the back of the plane," she said in a cheerful tone. But Kate stopped me from going backwards and told me that there was a seat up here for me up front. This wasn't just a comfortable seat. It was JetBlue's mint seating. The new ones with the lie flat seats and everything. Apparently, there was some that weren't booked. I heard entitled mom start something again, but one of her other attendants shut her down hard and told her another outburst from her and there'll be police waiting for her when we finally land. I got settled and thanked Kate for shutting her down. If it weren't for her knowing about what a Steam Deck was, I'd probably be in jail, waiting for law enforcement to meet us whenever we got off. Instead of getting my Steam Deck back out, I got on my laptop and checked some emails and started writing this. But now it's apparently time for food, and I think I'll get a little bottle of a drink too. because it's free up here. After that, I think I'll try out Stray. I heard good things about it. I mean, like, it was just a game console. I don't really get all the commotion, but I guess because the mom never heard of it. Little parent demands a train return because she missed her stop. First of all, this is a story of my brother. So something not is not tell right. I'm sorry, but I'm a listener who found this funny. I have permission, so don't worry. So my brother is going to school outside of our city and has to take the train every day. So one day, on his way to school, a mother with a young girl sit in front of him. If you don't know, it's a train with cabins with 6 seats. At first, she looked normal. No Karen hair, no arguing. So the trip was okay. But it got worse when it was almost time to leave the train. So the ticket man, sorry, I'm from the EU, comes to the cabin and said the usual, that it will stop where and what next. The entitled mom asked, or the EM asked, will this train stop at her place? Ma'am, we already stop at the place. You will have to leave the train and buy a new ticket. The entitled mom didn't have any of that. What? But we had to be there at 9 a.m. and the next train will not be in time. Just turn around next stop and return so I could leave. Both my brother and the TM look at her with confusion. The TM said, "Ma'am, you know we can't do that, right? Listen, I won't give you any fine, okay? Just leave the train and buy a new ticket." The entitled mom said, "No, I brought this ticket and I want to go to my destination." "Ma'am, you need to leave the train. You'll be there and you'll be there in time." I repeat, we cannot do that. Wait. "Ma'am, you need to leave the train. Your ticket is already expired. If you won't, we're going to call the cops at you. Just turn the train back. We will be there in time." I repeat, we cannot do that. This is not a bus. "Ma'am, please leave the train or buy a new ticket." This was going on for a while, but the TM went away to call the cops. The cops arrived. They weren't that nice like the TM, but demanded the same thing. When they realized that the woman wouldn't leave, they had to use a little force, and she got fined, and she had to buy a new ticket. Maybe she learned that she doesn't have the right to ride for free. Now, I don't get why you would think you could just turn around the train. Also, sorry, I kind of skipped a bit of that. I skipped it, but I came back. Don't worry. But still, I don't get how you could think that you could just turn around the train because you missed your stop. But anyways, that'll be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed, I just hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.